But I mastered their styles like the 5 deadly venoms. So all he had to do was get next to a nigga like that, he could destroy him.
Believe in that, for real. We plan to take the same strategy we use with Death Row West, mind over matter, taking all our weaknesses and making it into our strength. That all these people talk about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game.
The only way for me to come back is as Egoveli. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Still I rise. M.O.B. Outlaw. Now I return as Egoveli. Now I want to touch up on something I posted on Instagram so you guys can hear my voice. Some of you guys don't have an Instagram account, so you may not have seen it. So for my YouTube crowd, I want you guys to be in the mix. And I'm going to read what I said, and then I'm going to kind of elaborate more so than in this. I sent a series of tweets, and I said, some of y'all say Andre Ward is a bitch, yet in his quote-unquote controversial November fight, he's rematching Kovalev almost exactly 7 months later. And then I go on to say, Golovkin has a tough fight with Danny Jacobs, and he's free to move on to Canelo or Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo, a close fight with Lara, dismissed a rematch. Golovkin's team says there's no public demand for a Danny Jacobs rematch, even though Jacobs himself says he wanted it. Canelo acts like Lara doesn't exist, right? So here's my caption, that part. Side note, it's funny how the quote-unquote cowards of boxing always end up doing the bravest deeds. Ward moves up to the weight to fight Kovalev. Fact. He moved from a catchweight in his last fight to Paul Smith, and previously he had been fighting at super middleweight, 168 pounds, right? Whereas Team Golovkin said they can beat anyone from 154 to 168, yet has yet to face anyone from 154 or 168. Canelo last year vacated his belt instead of facing Gennady Golovkin. He said, I'll move up when my body is ready. Yet Ward moved up from 68 to face Kovalev's undefeated mandatory at the time, an undefeated Cuban, Sullivan Barrera. Within 3 fights, he fights a tough fighter and a powerful champion in Sergey Kovalev. But Ward remains the yellow belly. Ward wins a 12-round decision, parentheses, close on all judge scorecards, keep that in mind, and rematches Kovalev his very next fight within 7 months. Yet Canelo's close fight with a suspect 117 to 111 scorecard, courtesy of Levi Martinez, with Edeslandi Lara, gets swept under the rug. He's free to move on to fight whoever, Amir Khan or Liam Smith or James Kirkland or the people he's fought since then, without ever fighting Lara again. His team openly said that they are not interested in giving Edeslandi Lara a rematch, nor do they want to fight similar styles like Willie Monroe Jr. Same with Golovkin. Close fight with Jacobs, no rematch needed, huh? Golovkin could just move on to bigger and better things, right? Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather has a close fight with Jose Luis Castillo, rematches him within 8 months to put it to bed. Ward's fighting Kovalev in June to rid all doubts. These are the facts. Sad in the sport I love to see so much blatant disrespect and double standards, but rest assured, everything they try to sweep under the rug, I'll be right there to lift the rug up and reveal the dirt. And I'm only getting stronger. Like I said in my videos, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Will Smith concussion voice. Yeah, I said it, and I don't care who's mad, 100. So a lot of people had a lot of different things. I mean, just a little fact. When you guys already start crazy stuff, like your sentence starts off crazy and you write me a paragraph, most of the time I don't even read it because I could already tell you already started off with some stupid stuff. So I want to expand on that. Now, Ward-Kovalev, I'm happy that the fight is being made. And the funny thing is, you listen to my videos, some people, oh, you're full of shit and stuff like that. But correct me when I'm wrong. Name the time where I said that I didn't want to see a rematch between Kovalev and Ward. You didn't get that. You know what I mean? But you listen to the other side of fans who are saying all these radical things and the name calling and stuff like that. I'm telling you, this year, 2017, a lot of you dudes are getting X'd out. If you don't speak the truth, you're not really coming respectful in this boxing game and stuff, you already see it. I already see it. You see different writers and people are blasting them in the comments. You see channels and stuff, their viewerships dwindling and stuff. You got to keep it real. 2017 is a great year for boxing. It's not just about Egoveli and rants and stuff like that. We're getting a lot of great things, but the stuff that can be tweaked, I will tweak it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people who they say all this radical stuff, and it's, when are they ever right? You know what I mean? When are you going to be correct? You see Ward on a plane. He was headed to New York. Why? For the press tour to fight Kovalev. And he's doing this. So the fight got announced this month, we'll say. And the fight took place. I was there live. I covered it November 19th. So within 5 months, he's already having a press tour and the fight has been announced for a rematch. But you have people who are saying Andre Ward finally decides to fight Sergey the Crusher Kovalev again. What do you mean, finally? Again, correct me when I'm wrong. Oh, I'm having fun with this. This is some easy ass work. How is... See, I don't even understand. I'm on BoxRec. Shout out to BoxRec. They have good, credible information, except their pound for pound list. How is Canelo Alvarez rated number 1 and Ward's number 8? And Keith Thurman's above Ward. Wow. And Golovkin. Y'all be tripping, see? People be tripping with this. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. Bam! November 19th. Said the exact date. Now he's fighting almost 7 months later. You know what I mean? The 17th versus the 19th. So good summertime fight. And it's for all the straps. Again, there's nothing else you could say. You know what I mean? All that, oh, he was going to retire. It doesn't matter because he didn't retire and he chose to fight Kovalev. So that's all out the window. You know what I mean? And I mean, he says he was really considering it and pondering it. However, that's not what he decided. So it doesn't really matter. That's neither here nor there at the moment, right? Again, Canelo Alvarez. No, we'll go. Y'all gonna get this word. We'll go to Canelo Alvarez, right? Okay, bow. Canelo Alvarez. He fought a close fight with one ridiculous scorecard. Even though, like I said, Ward-Kovalev had all reasonable scorecards. There wasn't one scorecard that I thought that was reasonable as a scorecard. You could say Kovalev, I think he won, but the scorecard itself was a good score, even if you had Kovalev winning. You know what I'm saying? But he fought Edeslani Lara in 2014. Okay, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but 2015, 16, 17, we still don't have a Lara rematch, right? And you could go find articles, Google it if you want, right? And there's no mention of even talking about rematching Lara. In fact, their team has openly kind of dismissed the idea, right? Same thing with Gennady Golovkin. His team just recently said there's no public demand for Daniel Jacobs. What are you talking about? I'd travel to New York and listen to me. I would pay the airfare again to watch it. Jacob said he wanted it. He just called him out on his social media. He just said, I want the rematch, but I know I'm not going to get it next. So what do you mean it's not a fight people are craving? You know what I'm saying? I would love to see it again. You know what I mean? So that whole public demand doesn't make sense. It was a good fight. It was a close fight. No matter who you had winning. It's not even about who you had winning. It's about it was a close fight. So Golovkin could just mosey on and fight Billy Joe Saunders or try to fight Canelo or do whatever he's going to do, but he doesn't have to clear this up. Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather, he has to clear up any close fight he's in, and he's only been in really 2 that people really truly disputed. I guess you could add the fight with De La Hoya. And just so you know, facts only, man. 2002, he fought in 420. Shout out to the smokers. I don't smoke, but you do. Nah. 420 2002, and then he rematched that same year in December 7th, Jose Luis Castillo. So he said, okay, people are doubting that I won. Cool. I'll get this shoulder surgery, and then he beat him easier. Same thing with Ward, right? There's nobody in between, right? And here's another thing I'm seeing. People are saying, oh, it was a rematch clause. Okay, so if that was the case, why didn't the A-side Canelo put in a rematch clause with Edeslani Lara? You know what I'm saying? Why was there no rematch clause? And you don't have to have a rematch clause in order to fight somebody. You know what I'm saying? If you want to clear the air, you could be like, there was no rematch clause, but people were saying I lost to him, and I want to prove that I'm better than Lara. But that's not what they do. You know what I mean? Same thing, Golovkin Jacobs. There was no rematch clause where they were contracted to do it, but you could still rematch them if people have doubts. Or you could just avoid it and just be like, I made it out as the winner, so that's what it is. But that's not the cloth I'm cut from. Roy Jones Jr., great fighter, he beat Montel Griffin. He was winning, and then he got disqualified for knocking down a down opponent. And then he was like, nah, that doesn't sit well for me. And you even hear him post-fight, if you guys know your boxing, which I know some of you guys don't know shit about boxing, so you don't even know what I'm talking about. When he rematched him, he had this nasty leaping hook, knocked him out, I think in the second round. And post-fight, he was like, I didn't want to do that, but y'all made me. And Larry Merchant was like, why didn't you want to have to do that? And he's like, I didn't want to have to go back to the old RJ, because I might have killed that boy by mistake. You know what I mean? Roy Jones is my favorite, but he was basically explaining how it didn't sit well with him, and it brought the beast out because he technically lost or got disqualified and has a blemish on his record to Montel Griffin, a guy he was beating because of getting disqualified. Golovkin did the same thing to David Lemieux. He punched him in the head while he was already down, but he didn't get disqualified. Roy Jones did, but that's a side note. And so Andre Ward, he could vacate the belts. He doesn't have to. He said he was going to retire. He could have retired. So people are trying to take away credit by saying, "Oh, but it's a contract. It's a rematch clause." He doesn't. You don't have to do anything. And I think Canelo and Golovkin is a perfect example of that. You know what I mean? To me, they have to fight, but in all actuality, they haven't fought. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to do. Canelo doesn't have to fight Golovkin. He can keep fighting whoever he wants. But do people want it and desire it? Yes, of course. You know what I mean? So Ward, he could have retired. He could have dropped the belts, and despite how it made him look, I mean, Canelo did it to Golovkin. He said, here, I don't care how this makes me look. I already contacted the WBC. You're on my back. I don't want to deal with these artificial deadlines. Golovkin, here, have my belt. Ward could have did the same thing. So you're not going to take away credit. You know what I'm saying? And say like, oh, he's not doing what's right. He's doing what's right, clearly. The other thing is he moved up in weight. Something Canelo, when it came to Golovkin, at one point, he was trying to get Golovkin to 155. He said, oh, if he wants to fight me so bad, come down to me. I'm not moving up until I feel like my body is ready. And that has since been resolved. Canelo has moved past 160 to fight Chavez Jr. at 164.5. And now he says if he fights Golovkin, he'll fight him at 160. But at one point, that wasn't the case. Same thing with Golovkin. It was like pulling teeth. He was like destroying everybody, and he could have went and did it once and done and fought Ward at 168, or James DeGale, or Badu Jack. Floyd Mayweather kept saying, fight my fighter, Badu Jack. And then Golovkin didn't act like 168 was even an option, even though they said we'll beat anyone from 154 to 168, and nobody can make it 12 rounds with Golovkin from those divisions, right? He knocks out cruiserweights and all this. And the lie detector test determined that was a lie, because I went to New York in March and I seen a guy in those divisions, Daniel Jacobs, who pushed the fight and pushed it to the decision, you know what I'm saying, and went 12 rounds. So now that we got that cleared up about the rematch clause, you don't have to do anything. Ward doesn't have to fight Kovalev. Even with the contract, he could have retired like he said he did. You know what I mean? The belts get dispersed and there would have been a whole heap of trouble, like a whole mess of who has belts. It'd be like Tyson Fury's belts at heavyweight. His belts are all over the place now. He could have did something like that to disrupt it. He could have did like Canelo and said, here, I'm not rematching him next. He's being too disrespectful. You know what I mean? There's plenty. Amir Khan and Kell Brook, that's a perfect fight people want to see, but it still hasn't happened. You know what I mean? Khan was like, I don't like the way he's talking to me. So the fight didn't get made. So you don't have to fight anybody. That's a fact. Now, back to the rematch. The people were talking about Ward is finally fighting Kovalev, and I showed you the math. November 19th, and he's fighting June 17th or 16th or whatever it is, right? One of my favorite sagas, Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez, right? First fight, very close. It's a draw, split draw. Pacquiao fought Marquez, epic fight, knocked him down 3 times. 2004, May 8th, right? Cinco de Mayo weekend or whatever. Pacquiao did not rematch Marquez until 2008. So if you know math, that's 4 years, right? Roughly 4 years, if you round up. So you don't have to immediately. People wanted to see this fight, but he instead fought Eric Morales 3 times. Some people even argue you won the first fight, and then Pacquiao fought him a second time and actually stopped him. So you already proved right there that you beat him, because the first fight was stupid close, and they gave it to Morales via unanimous decision. But then you came back and beat him by stoppage, TKO, and then you stopped him again. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't even really have to fight him the third time, to be honest. But that's what Pacquiao chose to do. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are not giving credit, and then we'll take it from there. The second Marquez fight, which took place March 15th, 2008, he did not rematch. That was another highly disputed. I think Marquez got knocked down once, but he did very well. He buckled Pacquiao in that fight. It's an epic tug-of-war type of fight, like Marquez always gives Pacquiao. That was in March 15, 2008, and the third fight did not happen until 2012, at the end of the year. No, actually, it happened in 2011. 2012 was when he got knocked out. So from the second 2008 fight, he didn't fight him again until 2011. And then the quickest rematch was the third and fourth fight, and that was only a year apart. You know what I'm saying? So what is all this whole finally talk? Finally Ward is... What do you mean? He's fighting him within 7 months. That's less than a year, right? Meanwhile, like I said, other tough fights like Golovkin and Jacobs, no matter this is not even about who you had winning. It was a close fight. And if you don't say it's a close fight, it's probably because you're a fanboy, you know what I mean? And you're radical for one side, and probably not even a real boxing fan. You're a fan of a particular fighter, right? Canelo Lara. I don't care who you had winning. It was a good fight. It was a close fight. I know that. But one of the scorecards was horrible, and there's still no talk of a rematch. So I think we all know what this is. You know what I mean? People are doing all these smear campaigns, and just like before the first fight, oh, Ward didn't show up to the presser. You knew he wasn't showing up. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what it is, the big deal with an American champion. Some people are like, oh, why are you bringing up race? But you tell me what it is. I know he's biracial, but that seems not to matter. You know what I'm saying? So what is it? What else is the situation why Pacquiao can go 4 years without rematching his disputed close first fight to his second fight? Ward does it within 7 months, and he's still the bad guy. He still gets slandered, and you got people writing articles and doing videos, and people talking about finally Ward decides to give him a rematch. Like, we had to wait years. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And I wish every fighter had the tenacity of Andre Ward. You know what I mean? In terms of, he could have clearly, he had spent so much time on the sidelines, right? With legal trouble, which we don't have to dredge up, and an injury, right? Where they were saying, oh, he's inactive Ward, right? So much time that in that time frame, new players emerged that he could have fought at 168. And I know people in his camp, he could have made the weight at that point. I don't know about now, but he could have made at that. He's a gym rat, you know what I mean? He stays in shape. He would have just had to be more disciplined, watch his nutrition, maybe less red meat or something like that, but he could have still made the weight at the time, right? He does this multi-fight deal with HBO and says, you know what? All right, y'all want me to move up? Cool. And then the take 2 tune-up fights, and one of them wasn't even really a tune-up. I don't think Sullivan Barrera is what you would call a tune-up. He was an undefeated puncher at the time. He's bigger than Ward. I was at the media days. He's bigger than Ward. He's just a stocky dude. He just upset Shabransky after losing to Ward. So he clearly has skills. That's someone Golden Boy was saying was the truth. And someone who's sparring Canelo Alvarez right now. So obviously, he sounds pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? And Ward took that and said, you know what, I'll take one light heavyweight fight. I'll fight a career 168 pounder in Alexander Brand, and then I'll be ready for Kovalev. And he did it, and people were still acting like that's not good enough. Finally, Ward, like you had to wait all day. Get out of here. I'm telling you, man, 2017, it's not looking good for a lot of you dudes. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. All this, finally, Ward. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, fighters fight. the people who cover in the media and stuff. The thing is, at the end of the day, no matter who you like, who you thought won, it's all about being consistent. You know what I mean? It's all about being fair, about equality. Enough of these double standards. And at the end of the day, I'm not worried about it, because the people who choose to be ultra one-sided and not tell the truth when it comes to it, or like even give credit, then they always end up getting exposed. You'll be able to see it. Trust me on this. I'm on the case. 2017, I'm going ham, Egoveli style. Please believe it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you guys can believe whatever you want, but you'll be able to see with their viewership, with the people, the amount of people that are responding and how they're responding. If you don't tell the truth when it comes to this boxing, and it's just all this radical, like, I just don't get it. Like, Ward, he's a bitch. Like, I just went through the chronological timeline of multiple fighters. How is the fighter that's the coward, why is he moving up in weight? But these other A-side guys, they say Ward's a diva, right? Okay, Ward's a diva. Then how come these other fighters who are A-sides aren't moving up? Aren't even being forced to move up? HBO's not saying, Canelo, you have to move up. I think Canelo's body was rejecting the 154, 155. It was becoming increasingly hard for him to make, right? No one's pressuring Golovkin for a Jacobs rematch or to move up in 168. And his team is they're the ones open their mouth, said we could go up to 68. In fact, Abel Sanchez also said that his fighter, Gennady Golovkin, who's 35 now, he just had a birthday the other day, he's older than Ward, and the biggest name on his resume is Daniel Jacobs, and some people don't even believe you beat him. That's a fact. Even if you think he beat him, there's a ton of people who don't think he beat him. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. Just like Ward-Kovalev. There's a ton of people that say Ward won, and there's a ton of people that say Kovalev won. These are facts. But Ward is doing what's right and rematching. Golovkin, he just could ride off into the sunset, I guess. I guess that's how it's working. Old media. That's how it is. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I'm going to keep putting the spotlight on you roaches. And I just don't understand how the coward keeps doing the bravest things. You know what I mean? They're the ones moving up. Other guys, there's a ton of guys who I want to see move up, and they're not moving up. You know what I mean? The coward's doing quick rematches. Like I told you, Floyd Mayweather, he's the runner. He's the coward. He's gay runner and chicken runner and all this stuff, right? Why is he clearing up his Maidana fight the same year? Why is he clearing up his Jose Luis Castillo fight the same year? Why is Andre Ward clearing up his Kovalev fight not in the same year, just because the first fight happened in November, but within a calendar year, within 7 months, within 5 months, we have the actual date, and they're doing a press tour kicking off tomorrow. Like 50 Cent said, you gotta do something, baby. Something special. Checkmate. Let me know what you guys think. Egoveli, the return. You guys can leave all these crazy comments. Oh, you just love Andre Ward and stuff like that. But the end is near. I'm coming full force 2017. I don't care. If Kovalev wins, then he wins. If Ward wins, then he wins. It's about justice. And I am the Punisher, Frank Castle. Let me know what you guys think. Egoveli. Both fighters look like they mean it. Sergey Kovalev, I was on his page. He was flying to New York. It should be a good fight. And I'm glad this fight is called No Excuses. If Kovalev wins, hats off to you, brother. If Ward wins, I tip my hat to you. This is a fight that needed to happen. I'm glad it's happening. Both fighters, they know what to expect. They've shared the ring for 12. Kovalev saying, pray to me, I'm your God, son of Kovalev. So whoever wins, wins. But me, I don't care about that. The thing I care about is the sport of boxing. And the thing I care about is you have these two warriors who are doing what they are supposed to be doing in the world of boxing. All these people want to overshadow what actually happened, what they actually gave us. I was there live. I watched the fight. It was a phenomenal fight. And at the elite level, if more people did this, if more people stepped up to the plate, then we would get this, where it's competitive fights, where it's not just this landslide. It's two top level guys, a guy with the amateur background and more power, a guy with an Olympic gold medal and craft and skill. You know what I mean? If more fighters were doing this, then it wouldn't be a problem. So we got to get better as boxing fans. You guys can leave crazy comments and all that dumb stuff. I don't care who you like. I care about what's right for boxing. And The way they treat these quote unquote cowards of boxing it's not fair, it's not equal, and we know what it's about. And I come to eradicate all of that. This is a good fight though. I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to June, shout out to Ward-Kovalev too. And more fighters need to be like Kovalev. More fighters need to be like Ward in the sense of making the fights happen. You know what I mean? Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, another perfect example. They had a fight of the year. Leo Santa Cruz lost his title. He said, you know what? I'll give you an immediate rematch. And then Carl Frampton lost. So that's fair. That's what boxing is about. Not this radical groupie stuff and name calling and all that. Y'all, I'll save that for y'all. Y'all could do all that stuff. But let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. Signing off.